Hey everybody, it's Flyin Ryan here, and today I've got a little 2-in-1 review. We've got the Syma X5SC-1 and the X5SW. Now these are essentially the same quadcopter, and these are an upgrade of the original X5C, X5C-1. First, you'll probably notice that the landing gear is probably the most visible difference. The X5SC-1 is just a standard 2 megapixel HD camera, and the SW is a Wi-Fi FPV camera, so that sends a real-time video transmission to a smartphone or some sort of device like that. So let's start with what they come with. They all the accessories are essentially the same for both. So, you get the transmitter here, which is the same protocol as the X5C-1, so it works with the X11 and the X12, and it works with both of these as well. This is just for the SW version. That's where you clip your phone or tablet or whatever into to view your real-time video. So that just slides on and off nice and easy. And this is pretty standard Syma transmitter. You've got the left bumper is for your 2 different rates. There's one yaw rate. It's a little bit on the slow side. It's not horrible, but it's definitely not super fast or sporty. And if you press and hold the left bumper, both of these now also have a headless mode. And then the right bumper, you press and hold and then move the right stick to do a flip in whatever direction you want. And you can flip both of these with the camera attached and everything. For the SC-1, you turn the camera on and off or take pictures with the throttle trim here. For the SW version, it's done via the app. There is no onboard memory card or anything on the camera there, so it's all recorded on the phone. So you initiate it with buttons on the app. I think that's about it for the transmitter. They both come with a spare set of props. The SC-1 comes with a memory card reader, and then it also comes with the memory card, which is, let me get it out of there, a 4 gigabyte memory card. So a nice big memory card for the 2 megapixel HD video. Go ahead and put that back in there. But there is no memory card reader for the SW because there is no memory card on the camera. They both come with a USB charging cable and a 500 milliamp hour battery. I don't think, there we go. That takes about an hour and 25 minutes to charge. You get about a 30-second LVC warning on these, so a nice, the LEDs will blink for 30 seconds, so you get a nice long visible warning to bring them back to yourself. Flight times anywhere from about 5.5 minutes in full form like this with the prop guards, camera, and everything on. You get about 5.5 minutes. But if you got the prop guards off and take the camera off, you can get about 8 minutes and 45-second flight time, so quite a bit of difference depending on, what all you have attached. Maybe, a minute and 15 seconds to a minute and a half per whether you got the guards on and off or the camera on or off. So 8 minutes and 45 seconds is about the longest flight time you're going to see. So let's get into some of the details of the quad. So some of the upgrades from the X5C-1 to the SC-1. First, you'll notice the landing gear, which I think is pretty cool. I like these landing gear a lot more than the other ones, just kind of had this little loop thing. So these now, have these individual legs, and it just looks a lot, I don't know, more professional and cool looking. Otherwise, it's fairly similar. The battery bay has been reworked, so instead of having to slide the camera off with the battery bay, now it's got its own individual door in the back here, and there's a ton of room in there, plenty of clearance to get the battery in, and cables all fit in there, no problem, just a ton of room in there, which also makes me wish they would have given a bigger battery this time. I mean, there is just so much extra room in there. I mean, look how far the back the battery goes into there. they could have, you know, maybe given us a 600 or maybe even 700 milliamp hour battery. But anyway, you know, you got plenty of room to get that all fit in there, and then you can go ahead and plug it in and everything because this has an on-off switch. So I'm a big fan of that. You know, get your battery all squared away, set it down on a level surface, and flip the on-off switch. So that's pretty nice. The camera still has the pretty significant downward angle to it, and they have not changed that. There's no, you know, no adjusting it. The lens doesn't angle or anything. So I would have liked to see them have, you know, changed that, give us the option to change our angle. But one thing you may wonder with the FPV version, that, you know, that downward angle would be even worse. Well, they have addressed that for the FPV version. You'll notice the back here is a little bit extended, so now the camera is much more level. I mean, it's still got a little bit of a downward angle to it, but definitely much more level on the FPV version. And then, you know, you've got your antenna coming out of the back of the FPV camera there too. And the camera now attaches and detaches really easily. I mean, you've just got this one plug, and then there is a button in the front here that you can push, and then the camera just slides off. So it kind of has this mounting bracket that just slides into there, clips into place, and so nice and easy. So you could, I don't know if they sell this Wi-Fi FPV camera separately, but it's the same plug. So I do believe you could put this camera on the S5 or the SC-1. You could mount that camera on here and then have the Wi-Fi FPV if you wanted that as an option. It wouldn't, I mean, while the plug type is the same on the original X5SC-1, the mounting bracket is different. So I don't know, you maybe could mod it, you know, like there's some screws here where you could remove this little mounting bracket, and then I think you could click it on to the old version. However, I don't know, with the Wi-Fi camera, I'm not sure. It looks like it probably still would be the same. So, you know, before where this mounted into the battery cover, now it's mounting into this slide. So I think you could remove that slide and screw this onto the battery compartment of the original X5S or X5SC-1. Gosh, they've given so many letters and numbers to these things, it's hard to keep up with it. So let's see, is there anything else to say about this one? They again have LEDs, red in the front, green in the back, which feels a little bit backwards to me, but that seems to be the trend lately for whatever reason. So, you know, nice visible LEDs, and then actually with these new landing gear, the light kind of shines down on the legs, so the whole legs kind of glow a little bit, so making it even easier to see, especially, you know, on the white version. Yeah, I guess that's about all I got to say about. Oh no, actually there is a recalibration. So to recalibrate the accelerometer, you hold both sticks down to the right. To recalibrate headless mode, you hold both sticks down to the left. And that is all there is to say about it. So I think, not really sure what all kind of flights I'm going to do here. I think I'm going to fly with the SW just so I can show you know, the Wi-Fi FPV, which, you know, I've said before, Wi-Fi is not exactly great for actual FPV flying. There's a little bit of delay to it, not great range on it, so, you know, at a distance it starts to really break up and pause and get choppy. So yeah, I think I'll fly this just so I can demonstrate the camera as well, maybe record some footage from it. They say it's a 2 megapixel HD camera on the SW as well, but the recorded footage that you get on your phone is in like a 4:3. It's not the widescreen aspect ratio. So I'm not exactly sure what the camera is doing there. And it does record to the phone, not the camera. So I do believe, you know, if you get some interference and some dropout from the camera, that's going to end up in the recorded footage as well. So I'll go ahead and do some, you know, recorded footage, and we'll see how that turns out. See if, you know, the breakup and everything shows up on the recorded footage as well. But, you know, as far as flight characteristics go, these are exact same thing. They both you know, have the same hardware, same protocol. You know, the camera's maybe slightly heavier on that one because of the antenna, but really not going to make much of a difference. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do a flight, and let's check that out. Alright, this is the flight review of the Syma X5SW. I've got my phone connected to the Wi-Fi coming from the camera here, so we've got a little Wi-Fi FPV camera. You can see it's got some delay to it, but that's pretty standard for these Wi-Fi cameras. So go ahead and give it a spin and see if we can do some FPV. I don't know. On high rates. We'll just fly for a minute first. And it's a nice flying quad, really nice and smooth and stable. A little slow on the yaw rate as typical for Syma. That's our full yaw there. And it can do flips. Press and hold the right bumper button and then move the right stick whichever direction you want to flip. Nice flips. Alright, see if we can maybe do some FPV. Hopefully that's showing up on camera pretty decently. I'm already getting some dropouts, but it's not too bad really, especially for just lining up some video. Let me start recording, and that records to the phone, so you gotta have some space on your phone to save it. We'll see what the onboard video looks like anyway. I don't have a ton of space on my phone, so I don't want to record for too long, but we'll just get a little sample up here. Man, this really is a smooth flying quad. Nice and stable. A little wobbly on the descend there, but pretty standard. Alright, let's go ahead and stop the video. Okay, now we'll just go back to flying. So I think this is the same, pretty much the same as the Syma X5SC-1. It's the same protocol, so I don't think they've really made any flight differences. It's just the frame's a little bit different, the landing gear. But you know, nice flying quad, and this is the double review. I also did the Syma X5SC-1, which is the same thing as this, but without, you know, it just has a normal camera, not the Wi-Fi FPV camera. But I'm doing this one for the flight review, so I could show off the FPV as well. But otherwise, they fly just the same. Let's go back to some FPV, maybe do some Fpv Selfie. It's not bad really. So, I mean, it's a little bit laggy, but better than some of the other ones I've seen. And the camera angle is really nice and straight on this one, so it doesn't have the drastic downward angle of the other Syma camera. So they did consider that, because for FPV flying you definitely want more of a straightforward angle, not a downward angle. Whoa, full power. This is a nice quad though, and I like the new look, the landing legs and the battery compartment on-off switch. It's definitely a nice little upgrade. They didn't do a ton to it, but what they did is, I don't know, nice and tasty, just classy looking now. Doesn't look as much like a toy. Alright, well, I think that was a pretty good demo, so we'll go ahead and bring it in for a landing. And there we go. So that wraps up the flight review section of the double review of the Syma X5SW and SC-1. And this one's the Wi-Fi camera through your smartphone there. Pretty neat. Alright, we'll check the video description for price and purchase links for both models. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.